Hey nerds, join us on Discord and hit that subscribe button.
Hello, I'm Sika.
Flynn.
Alec.
Alma.
Scarcely.
And I'm your DM, Ethan. Welcome to Venture Forth. Previously, you all traveled down from the top of the Venville Rise. After an intense battle to close the portal to the plane of air and a pretty clutch move by Seeker in throwing out an adult blue dragon into the middle of the battlefield, you all descended down alongside the Dark Blades. You all began to talk with them, and Kellic speaking with Provel, the leader, about the difference that they could make in the world, not by destroying it or by killing people, but in fact by inspiring hope. You all settled down for the night. On the first watch, Kellic and Provel discussed the moral quandaries of the world before hearing a twig snap out in the forest, just beyond the cave that they were sleeping in. And upon investigation, you all found a small coin, one that was repeating the sound of a twig snapping. When you both dashed back to the cave, you saw a mindflayer, the same one that Olma had seen previously. Perched in the air, perpendicular, just above where Thessaly was sleeping, and just as they grabbed the necklace from Thessaly's neck, they disappeared without a trace. Now it is Thessaly and Flynn on their watch during the long rest. Thessaly and Flynn, what would you like to do?
So you're saying I'm pushing too hard on the pencil?
Yes, it looks as though you're about to go straight through the parchment. I don't think just
Well, just show me how do you do it? Show me how to do it again.
Okay, so the way that you hold, and so I'm gonna take out like a couple of like my ink pens and show him how to properly like hold it and how the angle it should be on the parchment. You don't have to poke a hole through it, Flynn.
Okay. And I will, try and learn as best I can.
Okay, Flynn, I'm going to have you make a sleight of hand check for me.
Okay, hold on 1 second.
See how well you can draw.
Okay. Oh, I'm good at sleight of hand. Okay, here we go. Okay. That is, what is math? 13.
13. Okay, you are starting to sketch that. What exactly are you drawing?
I would like to... We're sitting at the edge of the cave right now, kind of looking into the forest. Could I just focus on drawing some of the trees and like trying to shade in the darkness behind them and just kind of just looking out in that direction and trying to get the sky with whatever's the stars.
Okay, Thessaly, I am going to have you make a roll.
Okay.
And that roll is going to be...
I love an ambiguous roll.
Yeah.
I was like, what kind of roll?
Don't worry about it.
Just do it.
Just roll it and I'll tell you.
That's going to be I'm going to make that a persuasion roll. This is to see how well you can sort of guide Flynn in the right direction, get across the general idea of this.
I actually have really great persuasion.
Okay.
The question is, can Flynn listen?
Yeah, that's the thing.
25.
Jeez.
25, nice. So Flynn, you're doing pretty good, but you get a little bit ahead of yourself, and Thessaly, you see this right away. He's like, you can see he blocked out a couple of trees, but before finishing the entire thing, he tries to go back to the first tree and like do some heavy shading before he's blocked out the entire thing. And so you sort of guide him through, and these are sort of the steps that you have to take. But Flynn, you take some good notes, and you're starting to get the basics.
Huh. Okay, I think I got it.
I think you're really coming along. I don't see any holes in this paper, and those really look like trees, Flynn.
Good. And I think I need to work on the one. So I think the bushes in front of the tree trunks is what I'm struggling with, because like in the shade, it doesn't, I don't know.
Well, you don't have to shade right away. I don't think you need to get ahead of yourself. If you just want to sketch the whole thing first and do a complete outline, work on your lines, get everything set up, and then you can go back and do the finer details.
Yeah, well, with the pen, I can't really fix my mistakes. I kind of wish.
Yeah, I usually just work with ink. I don't know if I have any pencils.
That's fine. This is something on the list that we'll get when we stop in town.
Sure, yeah, we can pick something up or charcoal or something. You ever done that? Like a little charcoal drawing? That's really good practice.
I don't really have much experience with this, so, we'll figure it out.
All right.
Yeah. But, yeah, good. Thanks. This,
of course.
helped me take my mind off things for a little bit.
Anytime you want a drawing lesson, you just ask, and I'd be happy to.
Yep. Thanks.
I'm going to have both of you roll a perception check as you are completing your watch.
Ooh. 24.
24, and
I was very focused on teaching Flynn and making sure he was getting it just right because I got a 10.
You got a 10. Okay. As you're sitting there and looking out into the forest and the snow is starting to come down more and more, you're sitting there and Flynn, you look out and you see what at first looks like a snowflake, but the way it's sort of riding the wind and drops down and settles, it almost looks like a white feather hidden within the snowstorm, and it just lands right on the edge of the cave.
And I start sketching the feather into my drawing. Do you see? I drew the feather. Do you see the feather?
I do see the feather. That's an excellent
You think that came out okay?
Yes, the lines are nice and neat, and I don't see any blotting, so you're good.
Why was there a feather?
I don't know. I assumed you wanted. I thought maybe you missed Shreya. I don't know.
Well, because I'm going to put my book down and I'm going to go over and pick up the feather. I don't see any others when I get over there. Just the one random feather.
Just a single white feather. As you look up, you just see the clouds overhead. You see these dark gray and white clouds. As you look up, you can barely even see the clouds actually as the snow is coming down. I'm going to have you make another perception check for me.
Okay. 21.
21.
Yep.
You look down at this feather and you see that you know that at the moment Eldra is currently white, so she has white feathers, but you know that currently with the size of Eldra, this feather is much larger than Eldra. And as you're sort of looking up at the sky, trying to see where this could have come from, you see just off in the distance, you barely are able to see a massive, not feathered wing, but leathery white wing wisp out of the clouds. You just barely see a tail whip out before it disappears from your sight.
Eyes go wide as I freeze for a moment. And I slowly start backing up, and I'd like to try and just quickly sneak back to Thess at the entrance of the cave.
Okay.
That's quiet. I saw the thing that Seeker mentioned in the sky.
Oh, you saw I think we can...
Dragon?
Dragon, yeah. It's just, I don't think saying its name is going to bring it down here, Flynn.
Well, more talking is bad, I think.
Oh, you think we should... Is it right overhead?
I'll look back. How far abouts did I see it?
It was probably a couple miles away. You were just barely able to spot it through the snow that was coming down.
Okay.
But just with the size of it, you were able to spot it.
It was far away, but I still saw it, so that is pretty concerning.
All right, I think we can keep an eye out. We can keep watching, but...
Right. Maybe from further back in the cave?
If it wants to get in the cave, I don't know if going further in is the way to get away from it. I don't...
It's pretty big. Maybe it won't fit.
Maybe...
Hopefully.
And I sort of look at the mouth of the cave. It's big enough for a dragon to get in, right?
The dragon that you just saw that same day probably could have fit inside this cave.
Yeah.
The blue dragon, to be specific.
Right.
The blue dragon that Seeker summoned probably could fit in this cave.
I mean, I don't know. I'm hoping that the army sort of distracts. That they've got all those fires going on, and we'll just be quiet and
Right.
We'll leave as soon as we're done rested.
That does make sense. You're right. Yeah, the army's probably going to distract it. We'll be okay. We'll be fine, right?
Sure. Does that book of yours have anything on dragons in it?
Not mine,
No.
but
And I'll go into my book, my bags, and I will look for not my bestiary, but Chath's. And I will like to just flip through it and kind of just, I don't know, see if I can spot anything. I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but I'll kind of like flip through and see if I can see anything about
Make an investigation
dragons.
check for
Okay.
me.
Ooh, that is investigation of 19.
19. You start to flip through the beginning of the book, and you know that dragons are obviously a very fearsome enemy. So you sort of skim through the first part of the book, knowing that those are the monsters that Chath vanquished early on in his career. But your eye just barely catches on one of those first pages that you would normally skip through, just catches the word dragon before you skip back and you actually see that Chath has fought a white dragon wormling. The youngest type of all of the white dragons. And you can see this is maybe it's on one of the early pages, and as you count through, it's the 7th page that he has filled up. And you can see very early on in Chath's career, and you sort of see the sketch of a map that he's drawn. He traveled up through Ondale to the very tip of the continent where Kansam is, where he chartered a boat, and he writes down how he chartered a boat to the very northern tribe on the northern ice fields of Bartha And there he was able to protect this small tribe of actually fellow Dragonborn and protect the tribe from this white dragon wormling.
of course. Of course he did. Huh. Well, I found it. Chath is definitely a great warrior. Here, it says some stuff about them, and I'll kind of just start reading into it and kind of see what I can gain through it.
You also learn, going through, very similar to what Shreya actually told you all about the dragons, is in Chath's notes, is that the northern ice fields are really the only place cold enough to comfortably have a white dragon for sustained periods of time. And that is where a majority of them live and breed, are up in the northern ice fields. But now that you know that the entire continent for the year, or for the next week, is getting much colder, the snow is coming in, you know that they might migrate down into the more southern portions of the world.
Does it say anything about where it might like to live? Like, will it look for a cave like this, or does it go up high in the mountains? Like, what, like that kind of thing? I think that's what I'm
so
looking
you
for.
read through and you see that white dragons are very temperature specific.
Okay.
So if a region gets even too cold for their own blood, they will seek out a cave. But things in the correct temperature, oftentimes they will simply lay out in the snow and let the snow pile up over them, and take their rest as the snow is accumulating around them. Looking at it right now and sort of comparing the temperature in your notes, you don't think that right now, even though it's freezing, is probably not cold enough for a white dragon to seek out shelter.
Well, that's reassuring. It's saying that we should be okay. I guess because it's the beginning of the long eve, that it's not quite cold enough yet. So I don't think it's going to look for something like this. And again, you said that the army could distract it, so...
I'm hoping if it's looking for prey, it'll go for the obvious sort of... I don't know anything about dragons. I'm just assuming if it wants to eat someone,
Right.
then maybe it would eat the people in the army. But maybe that's also wishful thinking, Flynn.
Well,
I'm not the monster hunter here.
yeah, I mean, I thought I was, but... I think we'll be okay. I'll read up on this later. I'm getting pretty tired. It's probably time to wake the next person up anyway.
I think so. And Right. Yes, we should go back to sleep. That's probably a good idea.
Yeah, and I'll find a bookmark or like some kind of like I'll take the feather, and I will bookmark Chat's book where the dragon is. Shut the book, put it in my bag, and start packing up. And
Okay. Again, thanks. I appreciate it.
Of course.
Glad to have someone like you with us.
Well, thank you, Flynn.
All right, let's wake them up.
Alrighty. Who was the next watch?
I believe Seeker and Olma
so,
are the next watch. So,
Unless Seeker wanted to sleep some more because of his exhaustion.
Oh, that's right. You're exhausted.
I'll groggily wake up.
all right. And as you do, actually, as you have now completed a long rest, you are now at 2 points of exhaustion. Still nothing to smile about, but
That dragon,
at least it's not
jeez.
3. Okay. Seeker and Olma, you are both awake. Thessaly and Flynn, you both fall right asleep.
Oh, I'm so tired.
You don't look so good.
Don't feel so good.
Do you think you can even open your eyes?
I mean, I could, but you're here, so do I have to?
I mean, I guess not. Do you? I'm probably fine. Do you want to just go sleep?
No, it's okay.
Oh, okay. Do you want me to talk to you to keep you awake?
Yes. Oh, I do want to send the elder out to keep watch outside the cave. I forgot to do it earlier.
Okay. Well, if Eldra's watching with me, maybe you can go to sleep.
Not a bad idea.
I mean, whatever you feel like is right. I can keep talking and I can keep like keeping you awake and I don't know. Is this helping?
It is. It is good. You know, we don't get to talk a lot.
No, not really.
No.
Well, you're always with Thessaly and you guys are always taking walks together and you guys are always hanging out together and having little secret conversations. So I don't really be part of those. Like whenever weird things happen with her body and she like huffs off away because she's mad at Kellic and then you follow after her
Well,
then you guys have conversations.
You were there for that one.
Was I?
Yes. Remember we talked after?
Well, I was like hiding, but I wasn't really part of the conversation, so I couldn't really talk to you about it.
But have you been keeping an eye just in case?
On you?
Not me.
And Thessaly?
Well, her specifically. Remember I asked you to.
Yeah, I mean, we've been a little busy. So no.
That is
No, I
fair.
haven't been keeping an eye on her.
That's true, we have. I'm still worried about her. Speaking of worried about people, I don't think I've ever told you. You remind me a bit of me.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, a little bit.
How so?
I left home when I was very young.
Oh.
Around your age, actually.
Oh.
And spent a lot of time on my own with people. You know, I'm not as gifted as you, but I don't know. I noticed earlier, I think it was on the boat or around there, you seemed really, really angry.
On the boat?
Yes.
Yeah, I was a little upset on the boat. I'm just so bad at meditating, you know? Like, my brain just doesn't shut off. And you're really supposed to meditate this time of the year and reset your body. And I just can't do it ever. So sometimes that makes me frustrated. Like, can I be a good person and can I be good at what I do if I don't meditate?
I don't think you need meditation to be a good person.
Well, that makes one of us.
But I was referring, you had threatened some people. It seemed very out of character for you.
I don't remember.
Yeah, it was, it just seemed a little
Can you be a
concerning.
little bit more specific? I threaten people sometimes. So you're going to have to be just a little bit more
Well, it wasn't
specific.
Flynn.
No?
It was when we were talking to Kodamvo and you were just really aggressive. And afterwards, you kind of threatened ending some people. And it just,
Ending Kodamvo?
well, that was one.
Well,
Yes.
yeah, because he's mean and he hurts people.
Look, I don't think it is out of the question. However, it just seemed you were in a place. You seemed more mad than I had seen you, which doesn't really say a lot. But
Well, nobody hurts my friends. And
Well,
he hurt
sometimes they do.
Thessaly.
it's true. Yeah. Well,
So he's a bad guy.
I don't know if it's that.
And he's so smarmy. I mean, he's like, you can't do anything about it. You're going to let me go or else I'm going to do something to people you don't know. And then, like, maybe I'll do something to people you don't know, but maybe I won't because maybe I'm just threatening it and I don't know. And I think we just don't know. And yeah.
He's the lowest of low people. I'm not a fan at all. I think that he's got to be dealt with. But I bring up that you reminded me of me because I used to run with some people that I found myself angry at my family and a lot of people from my past. And I started running with some people that taught me a lot of things. And one of those things was how to be angry and how to take it out on other people that I don't know. And I just want you to be careful. I see so much goodness in you, so much light. And I know you're not sure what to do with your power, but it'll come.
Thanks. But I don't think we're the same at all. I didn't leave home. I didn't choose to be wandering around the world with you all. I mean, I'm happy to be here, but this isn't something that, like, I chose to do and found a crew to run with, you know? And sometimes I get upset, but I think it's okay to get upset sometimes. Because sometimes, like, the world makes you upset.
I'm mad at Flynn almost all of the time.
Yeah, but, well, I'm not actually mad at Flynn. He's just fun to be mad at. Like,
know.
it's just a lot of fun
You
to like.
understand me. Tess doesn't get it.
Because he gets so angry. And so he's just so easy. You just, like, work him up just a little bit and he's like, ah.
It's so true. And no, we are not exactly the same. I'm not saying that. I just see similarities.
Okay, well, I will
It's okay if you
try
don't.
not to surround myself with people who make me mean. So
Well,
don't make me mean.
That's not what I'm trying to say.
No? It kind
You-
of
you
felt like
can-
that's what you were trying
You
to
can be
say.
angry and be mean if do what you must. I just am concerned for you going to this dark place where you just want to hurt people for no reason when maybe there's another option.
Okay.
And for what it's worth, you all challenged me to not go to that place. And so I feel it's only right to.
I don't really understand, but I'm willing to think about it for a while. But I just,
Maybe you could meditate on it.
I'm so bad at that. I don't know. This is a lot, Seeker, and I'll try, but I don't know. Maybe it's like you got a lot of, like, hindsight to learn from, and I don't have any. So it's kind of hard to understand what you're trying to tell me.
Okay. I think
But I'll try not to become a Darkblade. Although they kind of seem nice, but, like, maybe they're not nice.
they were too nice, but then really mean, and then, like, okay again.
Yeah.
This is like disturbing
Very
how nice they were.
confusing.
They were very nice to me when I went to walk with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a little confusing, but I knew what they were trying to do, so it wasn't. You know, they were bad, but anyway.
But
What?
why did you leave home?
Oh, that is interestingly enough, I don't feel like I had a choice myself, but I learned something about the people closest to me that made me feel not so close to them.
What did you learn?
my grandmother was a part of a horrible cleansing of people, and it's hard to talk about.
Oh, I'm sorry. What's a cleansing? Like, it seems really bad
It is.
when you say it like that. But typically, I'm used to cleansing being like, you're cleaning.
No, it's not that kind of cleaning. It is removing people from this plane, not of their will.
But just because?
Oh, she says she had reasons, but I think they were dumb. And somewhat related to the gods, which is why I have a weird relationship with them. But
You're related to the gods?
no.
Oh.
I grew up in a place where we worship Laurus.
Oh.
That's
Who's
why
Laurus?
the reason we have magic. The creator of
The reason you have magic, or
We-
the reason everywhere has magic?
all of Elbor.
Really?
Yes.
Is that true?
Yes.
Is that just what you believe, or is that true?
No, it is true.
I'll ask Kelly.
Okay. He will confirm.
Okay. So you come from a place that worships a god. Did your grandmother cleanse people, get rid of people, kill people because of Laurus?
She would say so, yes.
And you didn't want to be part of that?
Oh, I wasn't part of it. But I found out about it sometime later and decided to leave.
Why did Laurus want to kill people?
That's the confusing part. I don't think Laurus would want to kill people. I think, at least the reason I left is I think they did it in Laurus's name.
Well, this whole war is because of gods and their names.
Yeah.
Who knows what they actually want? I haven't actually seen one. I don't actually know if they're real.
Well, I think that is something you could ask Kalik about.
But do you think he'll say yes just because he thinks he talks to gods?
He might, but I mean, to be fair, I've talked to gods. Just they don't talk
you think
back.
you've talked to gods?
They don't talk back
Oh no,
to
no.
me.
Okay.
Only I talk, and then. But sometimes things happen, so it's take that for what you will.
Right. I don't know. I just like growing up. We only believed in like things we could do and things that were tangible, right? Well, I mean, obviously not tangible because like similar to like Pravo and all these people. I mean, they learned how to like hone stuff inside of themselves, but it was real because like you could feel it inside of you.
I can feel my magic. I bet Kalik can feel his. And Des.
Well, but I mean, I can feel stuff inside of me too, but that's the tangible thing. That's what I'm saying. But the gods aren't really. We weren't taught that the gods were tangible or that they were anything that could really help you. That you could only help yourself through meditation and strength, and like you could only do what you could do.
Those seem like good things to know and to think. It is more than probable that there's more than one way to go about it in the world, you know?
Yeah.
But I can tell you that the gods are real. The old ones and the new ones.
Mm-hmm.
And also that they are the cause of a lot of problems.
Well, that's for sure. But people are causing those problems, not them, right?
Well, that's why I left home, because my grandmother and others did things for the gods that weren't necessarily for the gods. It's so confusing.
I'm sorry that
people
you...
are problems, but also gods, because gods have power they have all of this, but Laurus made magic. Why could Laurus not stop them from doing what they did?
Why aren't the gods stopping this war?
That is another fantastic... You are much wiser than you give yourself credit.
Well, they taught us to think like this in the monastery, so...
Well, you think like that, so it's your wisdom now.
Oh, I never thought of it like that. I'm sorry that you felt like you had to leave home. It seems like you had a nice family other than your grandmother. And it's really sad that you were all alone when you were my age because I don't know. I feel like if I had a family, I wouldn't want to leave.
Well, you don't need to be sorry. It's not your fault. Look, I'm here and I found you. I found a new family. And it is the way it is.
I still feel like if I had a family, I wouldn't be here, though. Or I wouldn't want to.
Do you know if your family's alive?
No, Xavier told me that he found some information about them. But he's looking into it, and then he didn't tell me anymore, so I don't know if he's actually looked into it, because now he's working with Zeta, and so I don't really know where we are with that. I never met them, so I don't know.
Maybe we can try to find them for you. Or with you.
Maybe. Xavier's looking into it, though, so he's gonna find them.
Okay, well, we can check in with Xavier.
Yeah, he's busy.
As you both are still on your watch, Kellic, what is your passive perception for me?
It is.
You are asleep.
Oh man. 95. I hate when you ask this.
70 million.
It is 19.
19. Okay.
Conceiving.
Your passive perception is 19.
Yeah.
Clerics, dude.
Yeah. Hell yeah, brother.
So, Kellic, you are, as far as like the sleeping arrangements of this cave go, Kellic, you are in proximity the closest to Thessaly
Okay.
as you are sleeping.
Oh no.
And just in the middle of your rest, you start to hear a bit of rustling, and you keep your eyes closed as you hear this rustling, as it might just be one of your party members adjusting themselves in their sleeping role. But then you keep hearing it, and you open your eyes and you look over and you see Thessaly twitching back and forth in her sleep.
Is there a mindflayer above her?
There is a clear absence of mind flayers above her.
Okay. There's no other visible
Nothing of
thing
it just
that would be
seems that
affecting them?
Thessaly is twitching.
Okay. I will just kind of like climb out of my very uncomfortable bedroll and timidly circumspectly make my way closer to them and just I just want to just see I don't know
For sure.
I just want to see if there's anything if they're cold, if there's some way I can like help with this scenario.
Okay. Thessaly, you are deep in your sleep. And in the middle of your dream, you see a flash of light. And everything shifts from that sort of hazy feeling of being in a dream and sometimes never even actually knowing that you're in a dream. It all comes into sharp focus. And you can see around you perfectly as this flash of light consumes you. And then you feel yourself kneeling on the ground. Both of your knees laid out there on the ground. You can feel yourself sort of slumped over. You open your eyes and you are now surrounded. It's still hazy. As you open your eyes now, everything around you is a little bit blurry and fuzzy. But as you blink a couple times, your eyes start to come into focus and you see wooden walls all around you. You see a temple. You look on the ground around you and you see blood everywhere. You look down at your hands and you see blood on your hands. As you focus in more, you see a couple of bodies that you recognize around you. And in front of you is a doorway. In front of that doorway, soldiers pouring in. And finally, The last soldier that comes in. You look up and you make eye contact with Captain Vossen. He stands in front of you, and as he's standing in front of you, he steps perfectly into this beam of moonlight that's coming in from the stained glass mosaic window behind you. As this moonlight comes in and perfectly drapes him, you can see him perfectly. And as you look around, this pit of rage fills your stomach. And as you just think about standing up to defend yourself, you see Captain Vossen overcome with shadow. As you see now, the moonlight that is draping over him and illuminating the back wall is draped in shadow, but you see a form within the shadow. You see massive wings spanning out, outlined only by this moonlight. Suddenly, that pit of rage in your stomach moves up into your heart. And all of a sudden, another flash of light. This time, it's not as white, but it is this radiant burst that comes out from your chest. A burst of energy that pushes back every single soldier in the room. As every soldier hits the wall, and as they hit the wall, they atomize, completely destroyed. As this radiant blast bursts out even more, the wooden walls around you begin to crack and splinter and are atomized themselves.
Jeez.
Everything goes dark now. And you can just hear an echoing voice. The voice of Captain Vossen, pinging from different directions, saying, "Looks like she doesn't have any fight left in her. Get her to the boat." And you feel yourself once more become weightless and dropping and falling and falling. And this time you land on your back with a thud. And you look up, and now once again you see this vast, empty white space. It is this endless white void in front of you. And from that white void, you look up. And you can see descending in front of you a humanoid figure. Your eyes are still blurry, so it looks almost like the outline of Shreya. But then as they descend further and further, you see, no, the wings are not the brownish color that Shreya was. The wings are perfectly white. And as they descend further and further down, you start to see this regal golden armor draping their form. And the form descends down further and further, and you can see their face is this stark white, almost porcelain skin. They have a golden band wrapping around their forehead. Their eyes and lips are completely black. And as they descend down to you, they reach out a hand, offering to help you up. And this figure does not feel, while looking menacing and terrifying, does not feel imposing, but rather feels friendly as they reach out a hand to help you up. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna take all that in and just take a deep breath, and I will accept the hand that they offer me.
With a strong pull, they help you up to your feet. And that pull continues and almost yanks you in close as this porcelain-like face comes up directly towards yours.
Oh.
Find me. As out of nowhere, 3 demon-like creatures with red, leathery skin and wings tackle this angel and zoom them off into the distance beyond your field of view.
No.
You feel yourself almost trip and are weightless once more as you're falling, and you hit the ground again once more in this white void, but this time you look forward and you see 5 figures standing around a stone table. You see on one end a half-orc. Next to them, a wood elf with a lute strewn across their back. Next to them, a red tiefling holding a wooden staff. Next to them, a drow draped in purple robes. And lastly, a human in leather armor, shrouded in burning ashes. They all turn to you. And without even a thought, you hear the human speak to you. They're not even worth our time.
Wait.
The red tiefling with the wooden staff turns to you. They all deserve to die anyways. The drow in purple robes. And did you hear them scream? Just puts a smile on my face. And then the half-orc. We could help her. But then again, she's just so small and pitiful. Finally, the wood elf. Undeserving of our time or our attention. All together they look to you, and in unison. She deserves it. Suddenly, you feel the warm metal hilts of your swords, of your now flaming swords, in your hands. And again, this burning pit of rage in your stomach. What would you like to do?
Which one spoke first?
The human that's shrouded in embers and ashes.
Yeah, I'd like to stab him. Okay, so as soon as they were all done speaking and I felt that rage like sort of boil inside me and I realized that my hands were on my blades once more, I would take them both out and I would rush him and I would go for like sort of like a twin fang strike right to the chest.
Right to the chest, coming over the shoulder and into the chest? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
This figure in front of you doesn't even move as he stares directly in your eyes. I'm going to have you roll damage for me.
Just straight damage? I don't have to like, okay.
For the attack that this is, roll your damage.
Okay, so that's...
Wow, wee, wow.
Both swords are
kills
for...
the god and then just you have no more gods.
Yes. Are you making multiple attacks here?
I'm striking with both blades if I can.
Roll for damage for both blades. As the figure doesn't even attempt to
Roll
move.
high.
I feel like we're learning a lot about Thess and Calic's relationship right now.
Okay, so 11 slashing damage, and then 5 fire damage, and then
jeez.
I get radiant. Wait, no, I don't get radiant.
Did you divine?
Okay.
Is that a thing?
No, it's because of...
So that is 16 points total.
Yes.
As your sword drives deep into his chest, but he's still standing. Would you like to attack again?
Standing? I'm gonna try to cleave his head from his shoulders.
Jeez,
Okay.
what?
Roll your damage. As once again, doesn't even move.
22 slashing damage. 9 fire.
As you swing your sword directly through his neck, at first you think you didn't even hit him. Until after a moment, his head completely falls off backwards, decapitated as his body falls limp to the ground. What would you like to do now? As you see the rest of the figures turn to you and begin to smile.
I'm gonna feel that as they smile at me, I'm gonna smile back and feel this like grim sort of satisfaction and look to them and say, that was easier than I thought. And I'm gonna do the same thing.
Okay, roll your damage for next.
Gods ain't shit.
Oh my god.
19 points of slashing.
I'm stressed.
After we just
Okay.
talk about, I don't think the gods are real.
7 fire.
Okay, as next up, the drow draped in purple robes. You walk up, and how are you attacking?
I'm gonna do the same thing. So I think this time I'll go like one sword following the other and sort of do like just almost a repeat slash and go for the head again.
Okay, once again, the head completely falls off of the body as they fall limp. Next, you continuing to attack as next in line in front of you is the half-orc.
I will continue to attack, but they're not fighting. Like they're not fighting back. They're just letting me hit them.
And just before that is correct, but just before the half-orc in front of you, just before you attack them, leans towards you and says, "Maybe if you had fought with this much ferocity, they would still be alive."
Oh shit!
What would you like to do?
Hearing that, can I try to cast something?
Definitely. What would you like to cast?
I want to cast Command.
Okay.
Ooh.
And I want... It was the half-orc that said this?
Yes.
I would like to command... I'm gonna reach out my hand, and if... I'm assuming the dream works, like... So, this, like, spark of, like, crystalline diamond energy is gonna coat my hand. I'm gonna reach it out towards him, and I'm going to tell him to kneel.
Oh, God.
And almost like a wooden marionette, the half-orc's arms yank back, and his back foot is rocked back as he drops to one knee.
And then, right before I go in for, like, an executioner strike, I'm gonna look at him and say, "Where have you been for the past 30 years?" And then I'm gonna cut his head off.
Okay, roll damage.
Jeez. I can see that. Thessaly's cleansing. Yeah.
Yeah, half barbarian now.
13 slashing and 8 fire damage as I bring them both down at the same time.
Once again, boom, boom, boom. The head rolls off. Now in front of you, you just have the wood elf and the tiefling. What would you like to do?
Don't you have anything to say?
They both look to you, and in unison, they say, "We have the power, but we chose to do nothing."
Can I kill them both at the same time?
Okay, how are you doing that?
If they're next to each other, I'm gonna go one blade into the heart and then one blade into the heart.
Okay, roll your damage.
Ooh.
That's 5 slashing damage for the first one, 8 slashing damage for the second sword.
Okay.
6 fire damage for the first sword, 2 fire damage for the second sword.
Okay. As you drive your swords both through the hearts of these two figures, you look to them in the eyes, and both simultaneous look to you. Thessaly, wake up. As you blink and open your eyes, and you can see Kellic standing in front of you.
Oh my god, no!
With your sword, both of your swords driven directly through his chest.
Stop.
Oh my god.
What?
I take him out. I take him out. And I'm
Do we
screaming.
see this?
We're
awake.
As you take them out, take them out and scream.
Do I?
Kellic is obviously awake. Flynn, I believe is. Flynn is the only one who you wake up to the sound of Thessaly's scream.
I scatter. I scatter over and I push Thess away.
Wait,
okay,
no.
as we're doing this, because it's about to get hectic, I feel I'm gonna have everyone roll initiative to see what happens next. Okay.
What?
Everyone roll initiative for me.
Do I get to roll initiative?
Yes, Kellic, I'm gonna have you roll initiative.
I'll take it.
That's a good sign.
That's a good roll.
Yeah, all right.
Good roll.
Okay.
Actually,
Ooh, I rolled really well.
I'm gonna take that back. Kellic, you do not roll initiative.
No.
Huh?
What?
Why?
Why?
Why can't he roll?
I didn't get to go yet.
What?
Hold on.
You do not roll initiative.
Hold that.
Okay, I rolled really
Okay,
well.
wait. We're awake, right? So like we saw this happening. We saw him go over there.
As you just turn around, you see Thessaly with a scream pull their sword out.
That's when we woke
from
up.
Kellic's chest. Flynn, that is when you woke up.
Okay.
That is when Seeker and Olma turn around
Oh, you guys
to
are
see
awake,
this.
that's right.
Yes.
All right.
Flynn, what's your initiative?
26.
26. Seeker, what's your initiative?
19.
I was 15, but that's no longer relevant.
Seeker.
It doesn't matter.
Seeker, what's your initiative?
19.
19. Ulma, what is your initiative?
16.
And Thessaly just took her attacks, so Thessaly is at the bottom of the initiative.
Whoa, okay.
Okay. Flynn, what would you like to do?
No! And I'm gonna run over and I'm gonna try and separate them.
Okay.
So I'll just try and she pulled the swords out, right?
The sword is currently out of Kellick's
Okay, yeah,
chest.
so I'm just gonna try and push them out of the way, just push them far away.
Okay, I'm gonna have you make a shove attack for me.
Okie dokie.
Thessaly, that is against your...
I'm not fighting him. I'm limp.
Okay, then I'm just gonna have you roll an athletics check for me.
Okay, hold on. Okay, that is a 12.
12. You run up, and Thessaly, you're just limp.
Yeah.
You completely push Thessaly 5 feet back.
Yeah.
And Thessaly, you fall to the ground.
Yeah.
Prone.
Can I say something? Yeah, or am I just...
I just want to turn around and so I'm gonna push her away, and I want to turn around and I see blood on swords. I push her away. I turn around. I want to see, is Kellick okay?
You turn around, and you now see Kellick falling limp to the ground with a massive hole through his chest that is now bleeding. Seeker, what are you doing?
I'm running over and I'm touching him. How does he feel?
Cold.
What?
Cold?
I grab.
But like normal cold, right? Because I'm like,
I roll up. I roll up
Seeker,
my
what are you
left
doing?
sleeve. I roll up my left sleeve and touch my tattoo of Lars, and with my left hand put it on that wound, and cast Spare the Dying on so a purple pulse of energy emanates from my left palm into that wound, trying to bring...
You feel the energy surround the wound, but unfortunately, this spell does not work on creatures that are already dead.
So
What? I'm sorry.
I look over at Thess and narrow my gaze. Narrow my... What have you done? What have you done?
I didn't.
Oma, what are you doing? It's your turn in initiative.
I'm running up behind Seeker, and I'm looking over his shoulder, and the second I see that this doesn't work, Seeker, why isn't he waking it up? Why isn't he, Gallic? I see that nothing is happening, and I turn to Thessaly, and I let out a giant scream, and I throw I run towards her, and I throw my burning hands, just unleash as everything that I've got in me at level 4.
Okay. Is that an attack roll for you, or?
It's an attack roll.
Okay.
Actually, it's a dex save. It's a dex save.
So dex save
I'm not gonna try to save.
Okay, roll your damage.
What the fuck is going on?
Maybe if you kill her, Kellick comes back.
15
what are we gonna do?
points of burning
15 points of burning damage.
of fire, yeah. And anything that's being worn. Oh, no. It also ignites anything flammable in the area. Or
Okay.
flammable.
The blankets and whatever, yeah.
Okay. Thessaly, you feel this searing pain all over your body. You feel your chainmail beginning to melt into your skin as you can feel this searing pain. And in this white hot pain, you just for a moment look outside of the cave, and you can see the snow is now not snow, but is white feathers, all of them falling to the ground.
What? I'm sorry I screamed, guys. I'm sorry I screamed.
As you feel within your heart this uncontrollable burst of radiant energy once more, as from around you, boom, this massive burst of energy consumes.
We're all close to her, right?
Wait.
I'm
Is
within
this the thing
15.
that
I'm in a
atomized
15.
people a minute ago?
Consumes everything.
I don't want to be...
Consumes everything within a 30-foot radius. Which
Wait, what
would
are the
be
dark lights doing right now?
which is what?
Amazing. What's going on? Are we dead again?
Oh, God.
Okay, so you are all pushed back. With this, everyone is encompassed within this radiant blast, and you are all pushed back 15 feet. So Let me see. So everyone, Seeker,
You're a
Olma,
body.
Flynn.
You're a body.
I'm a body.
Seeker, Olma, and Flynn.
Oh no. Does that mean you?
You all take 27 radiant damage.
God.
And because you are in this cave, you are all flung back and each hit the rocks.
Oh,
Within
God.
the inside of the cave, you each take 15 bludgeoning damage.
I'm down. No.
I hit that.
Leslie.
And I'm out.
I pass out.
Okay.
What? What?
And Thessaly, as you're looking around, you see everyone now laying unconscious around you. And you look to the back wall of the cave, and you can see the moonlight that is now shining in the cave. You see your own silhouette now with these massive white wings. With a flash of white, you wake up. You see Kellic in front of you. Kellic attempting to wake you up.
Hey, we're safe. I promise you.
Wait, don't touch me. Don't touch me. Don't touch me.
I just hold my hands up and like as close to my body as I can. I'm not touching it, Thessaly.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was a bad dream. It was just a nightmare. It's fine. I'm fine. It's good.
Well, we've been through a lot lately.
Yeah.
So that kind of pressure can make one see things. Are you sure you're all right?
No. There were... And it was...
Is there... I know... I feel I've already overstepped, but there's so little I can offer you. I'd at least like you to be able to sleep. Is there anything I can do? I could make you a cup of tea.
You want to make me a cup of tea?
I can't cast me magic on you. I make you sick. So tea.
You know what? And like tears are just streaming down my face. Tea would be great. That sounds nice.
Yeah, right away.
And you're okay, right? I didn't in my sleep. Sometimes I move around a lot.
Yeah, you were moving quite a bit.
But I didn't hurt you.
I mean, you'd have to thrash pretty hard to strike me.
Right. That's such a silly
I don't.
question.
I mean, I suppose. You're quite strong, so.
Yep.
Possibly.
That's
That's
the part that worried me. I just thought maybe, and you're so delicate, so it just...
All right. I know I'm not the... I'm hardy.
No, yes,
I'm
very...
Slight, but hardy.
Sure, I meant by compare... I think tea sounds nice.
I'll make you some tea.
Okay.
And I'll bashfully go to the fireplace that we have and try to brew some tea with the accoutrement we have.
I just think like Seeker and I are just like looking over at them and just like watching all of this. Like it's just we're sitting next to each other at like the front of the cave, and we're just like staring at this interaction take place.
You know, sometimes she has weird dreams.
Is that what that was?
I don't know. It's better to let them do what they... You said you were sad about me leaving my family, and they broke my heart. I chose this family, as strange as it is. Look at this. But I chose this family. I am not sad.
We're happy you chose us.
And I'll make my way back over to Thessaly with 2 cups of tea, one for them and one for me. You know, we don't have heaps of leaves, but should be
I
calming at least.
Sure, I bet it's
It's an herbal.
herbal tea. Okay. Yeah. And I just sip it, and I'm probably like not super focused, so I probably like take a big gulp, and it like burns my mouth.
I should have waited. I'm sorry.
No, that's it's fine. Ow. Yeah.
A couple of moments. The cool air will till
it'll be fine.
Enough. I put a bit of just some medicinal calming things in there from my bag.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the work I did at Cultcrest was just helping people feel peace, even if I couldn't, save him.
When were you at Coldcrest?
Just a few months, but not so long ago.
Did you fight? Again, you're sturdy. We've established that you're sturdy.
Yes,
I'm not.
Yes. No,
That wasn't.
No, I don't. Inflicting pain isn't my preferred action either way. So no, I was a medic.
In the war?
I fell out of favor with the temple, and they sent me to the front lines.
Kellic, you fell out of favor with the temple? The person who now apparently is a conduit for two gods? You were...
I know.
Wow.
It was odd to me as well.
Why?
Why?
If I can ask.
Oh, I mean, Artemisia, who, they're sort of leading the whole temple now, even though they're bloody charlatan. Truly as horrible a monster as one can be.
Wow.
But I discovered her doing some dark magic, and what you do as a Kaji in the temple is, obviously, dark magic is profane, bloody sacrifices and the like. Vermeer doesn't approve of that kind of thing. So, I reported Artemisia to my higher-up, Ka'a Malcolm, and he sent me to Coldcrest.
He didn't believe you, or he didn't care?
Well, the comings and goings of Ka'a are fairly well documented. Artemisia was not in Addersfeld when I saw her. So he thought I was lying.
And this is the same Artemisia that was there the last time when you all...
The one who struck us down.
Died.
Aye. So I think, my estimation, there's a bit of politics in the temple, and I think they sent me to Coldcrest because it is very dangerous, and they didn't want me to be around.
They sent you there to die?
Yes. But I flourished. And I sort of smile ironically. Well, truth be told, I lost all my magic and I couldn't do much, and then they fired me. Even though you're not really allowed to do that to a cleric of Vermeer, but didn't stop Commander Vash.
You lost your magic?
Yes.
How?
Gosh.
If you know.
Well, I thought... Boy, this is quite the interrogation.
I'm not interrogating you.
Well,
You don't have to answer that question.
No, I don't. It's nice. I appreciate the interest. I thought that Vermeer was punishing me. You're not supposed to have hatred in your heart.
Oh?
And I thought that maybe because of the hatred that I felt that I couldn't access the power any longer. But it seems actually that, well, I don't know why. But I don't think it was that. I think Famir was wounded by what Artemisia did to her.
And what did Artemisia do?
She cut from her.
She cut a god?
Yes, it's just a theory, but I think that what I witnessed Artemisia doing, this bloody ritual, I think she was doing that to sever her connection to Famir while maintaining the power that Famir had bequeathed, thus creating the abomination that she is now, a servant to the Red Wolf, with the power of a god.
Alec, do you think this has anything to do with what they were doing in the lighthouse? Like cutting pieces off and mixing things together and trying to give people different powers?
That hadn't occurred to me. But the severing that Artemisia was doing, Famir isn't corporeal, so it's not quite. You can't take her blood.
No, I imagine it's not the same process. But in theory, in idea, if you could take away a piece of a god and attach it to yourself or attach it to someone or something, wouldn't that make that thing divine?
I'm a little nervous to discuss it with you, Tessie, I think,
Why?
Well, I just want to say, divinity is not, when you cut a piece of Famir, that piece is no longer divine. Divinity is in what you represent, what you mean, not some source of power. A cannon cannot be divine. A warship cannot be divine. Broadsword, so on. A person is divine when they behave divinely.
Oh.
So, sorry. That's why I drink my tea.
So, in your mind, divinity is this thing that you can achieve.
It's not an achievement. It's a way to live.
Okay, how do you explain that when that's exactly what Kaldur thinks. That's exactly what they think they're doing with this war. They think they're following divinity.
I don't know. I think probably some of them. Maybe most. But I think the war goes on for other reasons. It's the only thing that makes sense to me. Talking to Pavel earlier and talking about how they have people in high places and they try to manipulate things. I'd be curious to know what goes on in those circles. The leadership, the people truly in charge for making these decisions. I'm the king of Kaldur.
The king of Kaldur.
If I'm really doing this, waging this war for 30 years, am I doing it for the gods? Or is there something else at play here? I mean, we are in the Venville Rise, right? There's no Andalians here.
No.
There's no gods here. No temples. Besides maybe some Tildaria from Shrias people. But even that, I haven't seen much. I think they kind of worship a different way. Kaldur is here to get resources, mineral. strikes me that might be part of the reason this war goes on.
Oh, I have no doubt it's about power. But you don't think that they manipulate people's beliefs for their own gain?
Certainly. But that's not behaving divinely. That is quite the opposite.
Then why has no one stopped it?
Suppose, inertia. Once the wheels of war are rolled out, I mean, it's like the Great War of old. It wasn't until the angels were sent down that it was ended.
Send down more I don't... Okay, like, they're gods. They have control over everything. Why don't they just do something?
I look down at my arm. I think they have.
I don't say this to be... Seeker says sometimes I can be really crass, and I just...
Oh, I don't think you're crass at all.
Blunt and not tactful.
These are qualities I've come to appreciate, especially in Anonymous company.
But then I hope you don't mind if I ask, why haven't they done more?
That's where I come back to this discussion of might. The longer I pursue this, the more I'm acquainted with how limited the powers of the gods are. I don't know that they control everything. I think they control just a bit more than you or I.
That's not comforting at all.
Certainly not.
Certainly not what I was taught. And
Well, who taught you?
well, my parents, you know. I didn't really go. They didn't really like me at any of the temples growing up because. And I just kind of like look to all of me.
Why not?
Okay, look, I'm just a walking reminder of the war to everybody. I can do all these things, and I look like I'm supposed to. You know, look, I'm not human.
I gathered that much, but I don't... Is it rude to ask what you are?
The way that they explain... No. The way that it was explained to me is that somewhere a long, long time ago in my family's line, an angel helped us out, and then generations later, I'm the result, and I'm supposed to do something with that, but nothing ever really came of it.
Excuse, you're...
What?
I nearly dropped my tea.
Oh, don't spill. It's hot. Still.
You're a descendant of an angel.
That's what they told me, yes. But I've never spoken to one or been contacted by one. Like all of these things were supposed to happen, and I was supposed to have all these powers. And
do you know which angel?
No, goodness.
No, in your ancestry, no documentation of that kind of.
My family wasn't very important, Kellic. I mean, my mother washed clothes, and my father was a gardener.
I think you had an angel at some point. That's pretty important.
Well, but the way. A long, long time ago, like longer than... Everyone was just as surprised as you are. I mean, the rest of my family was human. They were normal. I was an anomaly. No one could really tell me what I was supposed to do.
That does sound hard.
It was fun. I learned how to cope with it, and well, I think I learned how to cope with it.
My father was human.
Oh.
For what it's worth. I look like him in many ways, but it's a bit we're different, and we were different, and I'm sure, when you're gone to school and people don't know who your parent is, and children say things. I imagine you had some of the same kind of.
Yes, but they didn't say those things for very long. I've always been strong. I found that if you stand up for yourself, they shut up.
Oh. I hid.
You hid?
Well, I went to the priory. And in the priory there were quiet places where you could study and be alone. I wish I had been strong, though. Sounds a bit less lonely.
Want to know a secret?
Sure.
It wasn't less lonely at all. It was actually really terrible. The only people who would really talk to me were my siblings.
Did they, how did they feel about?
Oh, I was just Thessaly to them.
Good.
I took care of them and taught them things and helped them fight their bullies, and they were the only people I really cared about. Until now, with all of you, and but
where are they now?
And I just get really uncomfortable. They're dead, Kellic.
I'm so sorry.
Me too.
And I just sip my tea. It does make me wonder. I'm grateful we have your strength here. But why are you here? Do you suppose?
Well, I was thinking about that on the ship. Especially being on the ship and not wanting to be on the ship and really wanting to be anywhere else, and I really first I wanted to help Seeker, and I still want to help Seeker, but you all are actually doing something. You're actually stopping people who are hurting people, and maybe we could end the war? Maybe?
It's on our list.
We do have quite a long to-do list.
Ulma and I were brainstorming not so long ago for the ways we might end the war.
Oh, what I would love to hear what Ulma had in mind for that.
And she's wily in her way. We were funny, not so different. And I sort of look around to see where Provel is and like check that he's not listening, and just talking to Provel, he was talking about no more gods, and that's how you end the war.
Sounds good to me.
Well, and that was Ulma's conclusion as well. And that was before I understood that Pamir is a victim of this war as well. And that sort of changes things for me.
Why do you trust the gods so much? What did they do something for you? I mean, why? You say that they're victims and that they only have so much power as us, and you know
They did everything for me.
everything.
Without Vermeer, I would have had nothing.
I don't believe that.
My whole life, everything I am, I learned from her. Everything I've done, I've been able to do because of her. And I sort of stiffen. And, well, they're good. They've never, well, with one exception, they've never broken my trust. It's always been repaid.
What's that like?
Nice. And I just take a sip of my and I'm like out of tea at this point. But
Just sipping an empty
I'm just sipping an empty cup.
I bet it is. I guess I would trust them too.
I'm sorry. It sounds like you had a lot of hardship.
It's not you who should be sorry. It's not even hardship. It's about I used to think that they were supposed to fix everything.
I just nod my head.
And every time I asked for a little bit of help. Nothing. I mean, what's the point in this? And I just like gesture to all of me again. If it's not gonna hold any weight, if it's not gonna do anything.
I know it feels limp, given, and I sort of gesture to this dark, damp cave in this snowstorm. But you're strong, and you're brave, and you're capable, and I just look down at the ground. You're a good person. And in my eyes, that is the point. Are you done with your tea?
Yes, yeah, sure, thank you, and I hand the cup back.
This has been,
Yes.
And I just walk away.
Good night.
All right, and as Kellic walks away, Thessaly, you are sitting there, and as everyone is sort of, relaxing, doing their thing, the feather that was in Flynn's notebook, a gust of wind just barely takes it up. And it floats through the air on this gust of wind. And as you're sitting there, Thessaly, it drops and lands on your lap. And you level up.
Most grueling level up of all time.
Yeah, no kidding.
Wow.
Wow.
Yep.
Woo. Okay.
Hey, Seeker,
Yes.
do you think that Thessaly and Kellic are on watch now? Do you think we can go to bed?
Oh, that's a good Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Go back. I could use more sleep. Kind of a random question. Do you have any thread or rope? Looking for
Do
some,
I have any thread or rope?
or like some fabric in your bag there? Do you carry like do you maybe
Do
like
I carry spare
maybe
fabric?
you have a shirt that you don't want or
I want all my shirts.
but you could maybe fine. Never mind.
I have rope, but it comes in handy, and we need it.
Okay.
And it's I don't rope.
I'm trying to make something.
Thread?
It's okay. I'll find
Okay.
it. Actually-
I take like a little tiny piece of thread from my yellow cape, and I just take it from the end, and I give it. I just rip it off a little bit, and
Perfect. Yellow. I don't have yellow yet. Thank you.
Okay, but you can't have any more because it's my only cloak.
No, that's okay.
Well, it's my only cloak you can see.
I see what you did there.
I imagine by the time I look over, Cecily and Calic are attempting to go back to sleep, so I probably I get ready, really, really excited to go back to sleep, and then I look at them and I realize they're already asleep. And I get annoyed because I wasted all that time getting fabric for my cloak, and now I can't sleep.
Okay. Seeker, you just get the fabric. Are you doing anything with it?
I'll just put it in my bag.
Okay. As you put it in your bag, you reach in and you very gently place it right next to the other little threads of rope and other materials that you have collected these past few days. And as you do, you just think back to home and to the warmth and to the traditions there. And as you do, you level up.
Yes.
Woohoo. Let's go, dude.
Let's get it.
Let's get them level ups.
Okay. And with that, is there anything else you would like to do as we're coming up on the end of the long rest?
Yes. There's one. You don't have more rope. You don't have more. I reach up to my bag and get my rope, my long rope, and I cut off a portion, and I'm going to also pull out my scroll, my message scroll, and I'm going to spend some time trying to figure out a way to attach it to one of the straps on my backpack, make it visible so that I'm more likely to see messages.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, there we go.
So that you're not missing all of the messages I'm sending you.
I've had this thing. I've had this thing for quite some time, and I just.
Did you check it just now when you pulled it out?
No.
Maybe you should.
I look at it.
You do see that it is gold
Hey.
as you pull it out of your bag.
Oh.
Never fails.
Hey, it's gold.
And as you know that the message on the page resets at the start of every new day, you can see the gold just barely starting to fade as an ink blot of the gold starts to turn back into silver on the outside.
I unroll it quickly.
Okay.
Oh my God! I've got
And
to get
you
better at this.
you just see it before the ink fades back into the paper.
Reading fast, quickly.
You see, you are able to get through it fast as it's just 2 lines. It says, more info on Wyron and Olma. Contact when convenient. Xavier.
Oh, hey, we were just talking about Xavier. This is from Xavier.
Oh, what did he say?
Contact has more information about Wyron and Zeta. So we should contact him quickly.
Oh, okay, but I have no way to contact him.
Neither do I. This is one way. So,
Can you message him back with that?
no.
So it's not a way.
No, it's one way.
Oh, it's one way. Not it's.
It's not.
Not it's one way
not
to
it's one way
contact
to-
him. It's one way, like one
Like
door.
for
I
the
get
direction,
it. I
like
got
when
it.
you're
You know,
in a carriage,
crazy, 'cause
and the other carriage.
Sometimes, language doesn't really mean what you think it means. Sometimes, like when you were like, "Oh, it's one way," I was thinking, "Oh, it's one way to contact him," but no, you meant it's a one-way stream.
I saw this in your stare.
The
You look-
salmons
yes.
can't swim up the. Yeah, I get it.
We could wake up Kalik.
We shouldn't wake people up. Why do you always want to wake people up when they're resting? Don't you understand? Rest is really, really, really important. And you constantly want to wake people up in their rest. Don't think I've not forgotten how many times, don't think I have forgotten how many times you've woken me up from my rest over something that didn't matter.
Sometimes.
And Olma, as you are standing there criticizing Seeker, you catch yourself you catch yourself defending the wants and needs of others and the emotional and taking care of the emotional boundaries that other people have. And for just a split moment, you feel kind of good about yourself that you're defending the boundaries of these other people, and you level up.
Sometimes people need to be woken up, but fine. It says it's somewhat urgent and we can wait. Whatever. Up to you.
The day is almost starting again, so they're gonna wake up soon anyway. So just give them a little bit, and Xavier's fine. We can contact him soon. What? I mean, it's not
Do you
like
think
you
he
and
would-
I are gonna be able to contact him and get a bunch of information.
That's why
so-
we wake up Kellic.
No,
Do
Kellic
you
needs his
think
sleep.
that Xavier would write if it wasn't important?
Okay.
He knows that this is very limited.
But look up how pale Kellic looks.
This is always true.
He needs his sleep. Maybe he'll get rosy cheeks.
We'll make him some soup or something.
No. You go to sleep.
What are any of the dark blades? I'm gonna look. Are any of the dark blades awake? Or is in?
The Darkblades have sort of intermittently woken up just to check that other people are awake, but seeing that all of you are taking your watches, they take a full rest.
And would I feel like this is getting close to the end of our watch, or
You probably still have a couple more hours.
couple more hours?
Yeah.
Fine. I think we should wake him up. But for you, I will go back to sleep.
Okay. For me.
For you.
For me.
Yes.
For you.
And me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
For you.
Oh, now I do need sleep. I don't feel so good.
All right. Seeker, as you go back to sleep, you are getting some extra sleep that you would not have normally on a long rest. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you roll a d20. If you roll above a 10, well, hold on. If you roll above a 10,
You die.
you are dead. Nothing you can do.
But then you wake up from a nightmare.
That's what
You wake up from a nightmare.
Death and life.
I decapitate you.
If you roll above a 10, I will take a level of exhaustion away from you. And if you roll below a 10, you're just at the same amount of exhaustion.
No pressure.
Oh.
Agents of exhaustion.
Yup.
I stay exhausted with
You
this.
stay exhausted. Okay.
I tried.
Okay.
Almost tried.
Almost tried. For you.
Okay. Then with that, Olma, you spend the rest of the watch by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything you want to do all by your lonesome? Or are you just watching outside the cave?
I'm watching outside the cave, but I am thinking about what Seeker told me and thinking about what would make somebody choose to leave home in the things that I envision a home to be.
Okay.
And the people I envision home to be, right? So I'll think of Kale and his kids, and I'll think of, any family I've ever met and seen, and why anybody would want to leave that. And so I'm just kind of thinking about all of that.
Okay. And as you do, I'm going to have you make a perception check. If you please.
10.
10. Okay. Eldra's hanging out. Eldra's loving the snow, going from tree to tree.
Eating snowflakes.
Olma is also hanging out, watching outside the cave. Nothing seems to be happening. As everyone's sort of internal clock tells you that it's time to wake up, as there is no sun out.
Nice.
You all wake up and look outside, and it is snowing considerably more than it was last night.
No.
Sort of teetering on that blizzard look outside. So everyone wakes up, including the Darkblades. What would you all like to do?
Man,
Good morning, everyone.
yeah.
Is
That is
it
a relative word.
morning even?
I know the first day is always weird.
Yeah.
I feel better and worse at the same time.
What a day we had yesterday. Wow.
Yeah.
It was a blue dragon.
Yeah.
Oh, and there's also still the white one. I saw it on.
Oh, right.
We saw it on our watch.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Flynn saw it. I didn't.
Yeah, it was far away, but I mean, I saw it, so it must be pretty big.
I can imagine it's probably pretty disturbed. There's been a lot going on in
Yeah.
this region. If
Well-
it's territorial, then
Actually, and I'll go back to my book and I'll pull it out and try and.
Wait. I booked.
Well, in Chad's book, it talked about dragons a little bit. Hopefully, I can find it again.
Flynn, did you not mark the page?
No, I did. I put the feather in it, and it's gone. Why are you smiling?
I'm not smiling.
Did you take it?
No, I
I mean, you could just ask.
no, it like Flynn, this is going to sound really insane, but it flew to me.
What?
I'll look at her and see if I can find the feather. Do I see the feather on them?
I would have if it had landed like on my knee, I would have just stuck it in my bag. Out of like sentimentality. I'll pull it out.
I mean, okay. I mean,
You can have it back.
I don't need it.
No, I
It's
didn't
just
mean to
weird
take-
that you.
No, I didn't take it, Flynn.
It just flew.
I mean, I was awake the whole time, and she didn't go anywhere near your stuff. So
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, yeah, you can have it. I don't need it. Now I need to find the page again, and I would like to go back in and try and find.
It's pretty early on in the book, so yeah, you flip to the seventh page and it's there.
Okay, here we go. Yeah. So I mean, while we're on our way, I probably can look up a little bit about it. Apparently, they're supposed to be north of us, but because of the long eve, they come down into the southern regions. So that's probably why this one's here.
oh, all right.
And it was saying that it's not necessarily cold enough for it to like find a cave. So when I read that, like that made me feel better, and I was able to go to sleep.
It's probably nesting outside.
Yeah, it also said some stuff about it, like almost like burrowing under the snow and just sleeping under it. And letting the snow
let's
fall.
mind our step.
Yeah,
Exactly.
definitely watch our steps.
Yes.
Probably not in any open fields. We'll just kind of walk around them.
Right.
So I think that's all I know for right now. But on our walk or whatever, and I'll just trail off and start
So-
reading the book.
So we're going back down the mountain, and we're gonna meet the how you do again? How it do again?
Yes, I mean, if all went
called-
according to plan on Paston's end, then it should be about time, right? We said one day.
I think so. Yeah, we told him one day.
So, so if we can make it down.
Do you want to let him know that we're gonna be there?
Well, he said that he was gonna, and I'll peek my head up from my book. He said that he was gonna wait for us, right?
Oh, so maybe just if we had a change of plans, we had to tell him.
Yeah, I think that's what
Yeah.
it was. He's gonna be there until the end of the day or something. He's gonna give us one day.
Yeah, that's-
Okay.
If we can.
And what are you guys doing? And I point over to the dark blades.
Yeah, what are them blades doing?
The Dark Blades, not people of things. They don't have a ton of stuff, and even less so now that you have disarmed all of them. They stand up, and actually, as you all wake up, it seems that they all have been up for just like a couple minutes before you guys. They all seem to have gotten up just a little bit earlier, and Olma would have been the first to see this. As they start like doing these stretches and sort of like warming up and limbering up, and you see them all sort of in the corner talking amongst themselves.
What's your plan?
We were discussing finding a similar way back, which way we came. We have to sort of go south down the mountains a little bit, and there's an entrance to an old mine down there that once you get in there, you go subterranean, and you can travel quite a ways up to Gravebond. Kind of keeps you out of the snow and out of the elements. So that's the way that we came down here. From there, I'm expecting we can hunker down and settle in for the long eve and make some plans from there.
That's the opposite direction we're going.
Well, then
Is if we follow you to the tunnels, is there like an opposite direction of the tunnels that go the way
Is
we're
that where we
going?
part ways? How north is this? Mine.
as far as I can tell, the mine, it splits off into different directions. There's a pretty clear path just under the surface that goes up to Grave Bond. It seems to be an old, sort of like a smuggler's route through Grave Bond. But I do know we were sort of looking around, and there are tunnels that feed off and go much deeper into under the surface. We are not taking any of those. We don't want to be encountering any of the scary things that come up from under the ground. We're just going to be taking that slightly subterranean tunnel all the way back.
Did you say smugglers round?
Yeah, as far as I could tell.
That's not the direction we're going.
I think it behooves us to stay above ground. I mean, colder, but at least we know where we're going.
Yeah, I agree.
As I'm packing up the final books into my bag, closing it up.
What are you gonna do though? You gonna open another portal when we let you go?
Well, no. I don't think that's what we're going to be doing.
Now they're traitors. Just like us.
Is that right?
They just want
Are we
success.
traitors?
We're traitors?
I mean, I am.
Right, I think that's
What?
just you, Alma.
Kelly, did
Oh.
you say something to them or?
I mean, they're traitors. I'm a traitor.
Why are you calling yourself a traitor?
Well, when you go against the Hollow Guard and you work for the Hollow Guard, you're a traitor.
I'm
So they're
having
traitors.
Did you work for the Hollow Guard?
Yeah.
I mean, I had some friends who kind of did some stuff for the Hollow Guard every once in a while.
Just
You
expanding my
see,
temple.
you see Dunner sort of tap onto Rack, and Rack leans down and leans over, and Dunner whispers something into his ear, and Rack looks at Olma, and looks back at Dunner, and sort of smiles and nods his head.
Oh, can I see his lips?
You can see his lips, and
Ooh.
Dunner leans over towards Rack, and Dunner says, "Do you think that's the girl we were hearing about?"
Oh shit.
And Rack goes, "Yeah, I think that was her."
Noted.
And you see both Dunner and Rack look over to Olma and give you a very approving smile and give you a little bit of a nod.
I just smile back.
Uh,
So they can't go back to the Hollow Guard because then they'll just be murdered.
did they say? Did you say
Well,
that?
I don't know if we would necessarily be murdered. A project as big as this one, at the very least, a severe demotion in our current standing with the Hollow
Oh.
Guard would be in order. And as we've all discussed, I think we can get more done if we start to branch out on our own.
And I don't think the Hollow Guard are the people to be concerned about betraying in this particular circumstance.
I don't know. We're going to be watching our backs, though, for some time.
So what are you going to do now? Like you said, working on your own is going to be the best move, but working on your own to do what?
I don't know. That's what we have to discuss. I think getting up to Grave Bond and possibly finding ourselves a warm inn and discussing it over the course of the long eve, I think would be prudent.
Are you going to get in our way again?
And he immediately looks to Seeker. I sure hope not.
I'll walk over. Well, walk is a generous term. Stumble, stumble over, and put out my hand to shake. I'll present my hand to Problem.
He puts his hand back out, shakes your hand.
When he does, he feels an ink vial
Yeah,
in it,
classic.
and I squeeze, look him in the eye, and say, "I'm familiar with working for organizations that think they are doing the right thing and are very misguided. If you want some friends, this can help you reach out."
Well, I appreciate that.
I tug on Thessaly's armor while this is happening to pull her down to my level.
Hi, Oma.
Do you think he's doing the thing where he gives the ink and then never checks? Do you think he's doing it right now?
I think that's
And-
exactly what he's doing.
Why is he being so sneaky?
He's sneaky. That's his whole thing.
But we all know what he's doing. So he doesn't have to be so sneaky. Why is he sneaking from us?
You know how... Uma, do you ever just, let Kellic go on because you know it's going to make him happy?
Only long enough until I can argue with him.
Right. Well, this is our way of letting Seeker be happy, so he can do Seeker cool handshakes.
Oh, and are we supposed to pretend like we didn't know what happened?
Yes. Pretend like you didn't see anything.
Okay.
And okay.
And as that's happening, I'm pointing to the scroll that I've affixed to my backpack, saying, if you write something, a message, it will show up here, and I will be able to read it.
Oh, it's very good to know. As he takes the ink vial in his hand and very gingerly tosses it over his shoulder, up through the air, and perfectly caught out of the air by Dunner.
That makes sense.
Tosses it in his bag.
Dunner's gonna want that.
Yeah.
In my head, I'm just like, can't read, understand.
I will, as they were finishing their conversation.
It's a past tense situation.
Yeah. I will, as they're finishing their conversation, tug on Kellic's robe. And
I look down at Flynn.
Can we trust them then? We'll let them go?
I talked for a long time. I think I would have gotten an idea if they were being insincere. I think they really did think that opening that gate was going to end the war and be good for Elbor.
I'll just kind of glance back towards the group of Darkblades and then kind of...
Okay.
Can't expect them to become agents of repair in a day.
Yeah.
I think giving them some time to consider what they've seen and what I was hopefully able to convey might be the first step.
Is that the plan then?
I don't know. What would you rather do? You want to execute them?
Not at all. No. I just want to make sure they don't hurt anyone else or try to open another portal. But if you think you've gotten through to them, then I trust you.
If nothing else, they know that we'll be at whatever portal they try to open. And I don't think they want to do that again.
Exactly.
So, I feel like I'm saying this a lot lately, but I'm just going to have hope.
Yeah, we've been needing a lot of that lately.
Anyway, they seem... I don't know, I don't trust people who are so nice. But I think it's sincere. I beats me. How?
Would you say I'm nice?
I think you seem nice. But then you take your sword back from people.
Can we just let that go? It's not that big of a deal.
If you had done it one time, maybe Flynn.
I've only done it like 3 times.
That's enough to establish a pattern.
Okay, all right. We don't need to talk about patterns right now.
All right. And as you all sort of gather your things, Flynn, you are packing your stuff up. Io comes up to you, Flynn. Io, the one who you had engaged
Punch him in the throat.
combat.
I don't do that. I'm kidding.
I was like, what?
I don't do that.
And he sort of surprises you with how silent he comes up from behind you. But you turn around, and without saying a word, he sort of presents his hands in an open gesture, bows his head, and you can see in his hands he holds a little glass vial with a dark silver, almost iron-looking liquid on the inside, and you can see it is moving all around, almost like a living organism. It is moving around as he bows his head and presents this gift to you.
What is it?
Just bows his head, presents the gift.
Look to Kellic. Back at the file.
I give like a the word I'm looking for. A parental nod.
An adult. And I will
Keep saying it like that, and we'll believe you.
I'm an adult.
I will look back at the vial and look at him. I'll just carefully reach out and grab the vial.
All right.
And I'll just pick it up and shake it a little bit. Yeah.
It moves and reacts to you, not with gravity, but almost like if you had a tiny creature in there and you were moving it and they were sort of stumbling back and forth to keep themselves up.
There's something in there?
It's still this liquid, but it's not quite moving with gravity. It's moving sort of to keep itself upright.
Huh. Again, what does it do? Do you talk?
And he just pats you on the head and he walks away.
Don't do that. I will push his hand out.
All right.
My ribs still hurt. And I'll just hold it and just shrug at Kellic.
I shrug in return.
Flynn, as you accept this gift, you put it in your bag, and still in one hand you have Chath's bestiary. You all look out onto the blizzard, and with that, you all still have a couple more things that you need to pack up, but the Dark Blades all bid you farewell and bid you good luck on the next leg of your journey as the Dark Blades all disappear into the blizzard.
We watch them with apprehension.
Okay, they all disappear into the blizzard. And as you all finish packing your stuff, you all look out onto this blizzard. Flynn, as you're reading through the bestiary, you are reading more and more about this white dragon. And as you do, you are attempting to memorize some of the specific characteristics about this. You level up.
Hey.
And as you all take your first step out into the blizzard, that is where we're going to end this episode. We're going to call it right there. Thank you all so much for listening, and we can't wait to see you all again next week. Bye, nerds.
Bye, nerds. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful nerds.
Nerdy boy, baby.
Why, hello, nerds. Rodney here. If you're enjoying Venture Forth, please like, follow, and subscribe on whatever platform you're using, and make sure to tell your friends. We really appreciate it. And if you're interested in going that extra mile, just check out our Patreon link in the description to support the show and get access to exclusive and amazing bonus content. Bye, nerds.